You are sitting in the exam hall. The clock is ticking. You turn to passage 2, and right there in line 3, you see a word that looks like it was invented by a scientist who lost a bet. You have never seen it in your life. Your brain freezes, your pencil stops, and for about 5 full seconds, you just stare at it, like somehow staring harder will magically translate it. Here's the truth no one tells you up front. In IELTS reading, you are not supposed to know every word. The exam is not a vocabulary test. It is a reading skills test. And once you understand that difference, everything changes. Section 1. Stop treating every unknown word like a fire alarm. Let's be honest. Most IELTS students read like this. They hit one unknown word, stop completely, panic mildly, reread the sentence 3 times, still have no idea, and now feel behind on time. That's not reading. That's suffering with extra steps. Here's what you need to internalize right now. One unknown word almost never changes the answer. Read that again. One word will not sink you. The examiner is not sitting in Cambridge thinking, let's hide the answer inside the one word they don't know. That's not how this test works. The passage always gives you more than one way to understand the idea. Your job is to keep moving, collect the meaning from surrounding sentences, and not treat a single unfamiliar word like it's a bomb that needs defusing before you can proceed. Section 2. The context window, your most powerful tool. Think of every sentence in an IELTS passage as a small neighborhood. If you don't know one house, you look at the houses around it. That's context. And context will solve your vocabulary problem 8 times out of 10, without a dictionary, without prior knowledge, without any magic. Here's how to use it. When you hit an unknown word, immediately ask yourself these 3 questions. What is this sentence talking about? Get the general topic first. Is this word positive or negative in this situation? Tone gives you direction. What does the sentence still say if I replace this word with something? Does the logic still hold? For example, imagine you see the word obfuscate in a sentence that says, the company's report seemed to obfuscate the real financial figures, leaving investors confused. You've never seen obfuscate before, but look around it. The report left investors confused. It dealt with real financial figures in a suspicious way. Even if you replace obfuscate with hid or messed up or confused, the sentence works. You now know enough to answer the question. That's the context window doing its job. Section 3. Word roots, the secret language inside the word. Here's something that will genuinely change how you look at English vocabulary. Most long, scary-looking academic words are not random. They're built from smaller pieces, roots, prefixes, and suffixes that have been recycled for centuries. Once you know these pieces, you can crack open a word you've never seen like a walnut. Let's take some quick examples. Mal means bad. Malfunction, malnutrition, malpractice. If you see malevolent, you already know it's not a compliment. Bene means good. Benefit, benevolent, benign. Suddenly, a lot of medical passages make more sense. Chron means time. Chronicle, chronological, synchronize. History and science passages use these constantly. Bio means life. Biology, biography, biodiversity. You already knew this one. See how far you've come? You don't need to memorize 50,000 roots overnight. Focus on 30 to 40 of the most common ones. Latin and Greek roots appear constantly in academic English, which is exactly the kind of English IELTS uses. 10 minutes a day on roots for 2 weeks will pay back more than cramming random vocabulary lists for a month. Section 4. Tone and logic. Reading what the passage feels like. IELTS passages have a voice. They are not just neutral blobs of text dumped on the page. They argue, they compare, they warn, they conclude. And once you start reading for tone and logic, not just vocabulary, unknown words become much less dangerous. Here's what to look for. Pay attention to signal words. However, but, yet, despite, these signal a contrast. Something is about to flip. Therefore, thus, as a result, these signal a conclusion. The unknown word is part of an outcome. Furthermore, in addition, similarly, more of the same idea is coming. Confirm what you already understood. If a passage says, the indigenous population faced severe unknown word after the arrival of colonial settlers, the structure alone tells you it is something negative. The word could be persecution, displacement, suffering. The actual word doesn't matter for your answer. The passage is telling you something bad happened. That is enough to answer most question types correctly. This is how fluent readers actually work, by the way. They don't decode every word individually. They read in chunks and let logic do the heavy lifting. You're not cheating the system by doing this. You are reading the way educated adults read. Section 5, the good enough rule. Stop chasing precision. One of the biggest mistakes IELTS students make is spending 30 seconds on one word trying to get the perfect definition in their head. This is a time trap, and time is the one thing IELTS never gives you enough of. Here's the rule. When you hit an unknown word, give yourself 5 seconds maximum to guess the ballpark meaning. Positive or negative, action or thing, general idea, that's it. Then move. You are not writing a dictionary, you're answering questions. If the question directly tests that word, which is rare, you come back with fresh eyes after finishing other questions. Sometimes the answer makes more sense once your brain has processed the rest of the passage. Other times, the question itself gives you a definition through the answer options. Yes, that actually happens. A rough guess used quickly is worth far more than a perfect translation used too late. Section 6. Build your vocabulary smarter, not more. Everything we've talked about so far is about surviving the exam with the vocabulary you already have. But let's also talk about building vocabulary more effectively before the exam, because the way most people do it is genuinely backwards. Most students memorize random lists of words. Word, definition, next word, definition. This is like trying to learn how to drive by memorizing the names of car parts. Technically related, practically useless. The better approach has 3 parts. Learn words in sentences, not isolation. Your brain remembers context, not abstract definitions. The scientist's hypothesis was subsequently corroborated by new data. Teaches you corroborated in a way that a definition list never will. Read IELTS-level texts daily. The Economist, BBC News, National Geographic, Scientific American, not because they're fancy, because they use exactly the kind of vocabulary IELTS uses. Your passive vocabulary grows automatically when you read a lot. And use spaced repetition. Apps like Anki force you to review words just before you forget them. This is how your brain actually stores long-term vocabulary. 10 words a day with spaced repetition beats 100 words crammed the night before. And here's a final and slightly uncomfortable truth. You will never know all the words in an IELTS passage. Native English speakers sometimes don't know all the words in an IELTS passage. The test is deliberately designed to include academic and technical language that is not in everyday use. So stop preparing to know everything. Prepare to handle not knowing and still get the right answers. Unknown vocabulary in IELTS reading is not a dead end. It's a puzzle, and every puzzle in that passage gives you clues. Use context, use word roots, use tone and logic. Use your time wisely, and stop expecting yourself to know every word before you walk into that exam room. The students who do well in IELTS reading aren't the ones who memorized the most vocabulary. They're the ones who panicked the least when they didn't know something and kept reading anyway. That's a skill. And, unlike raw vocabulary size, it's completely within your control to develop.